Shalom. Kol halalim la Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahushai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahushai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the prophets of that body. And shalom to the 144,000 and 1/3. May peace and blessings be upon your households. Shalom Babakar. 6:49, about to be 6:50, Tuesday in the AM. What's the date today? 24th of June. Another 7 days, we will be in July. Okay, and July the 4th is next Friday. All right, July the 4th is next Friday. And Trump just brokered a ceasefire between Iran and Israel. But once it wasn't one of the American bases hit abroad, but he brokered a ceasefire. Right? As long as, Iran doesn't, try and do something, well, basically break a promise or whatever, the same way the so-called white man did with the tribe of Gad and every other Israelite tribe. 400 treaties made with the tribe of Gad, the so-called native Indians, and these so-called white people, these Edomites, these crackers, broke every single one. Okay, you see, you can never trust a so-called white man's word, and even if they say they've broken a ceasefire, there's always some underlying thing they've got in the background, All right, I'm going to watch the apostles and elders and some of our prophets, see what their spiritual insight is into it. Esau's just playing games, playing games, man. With people's emotions, trying to keep them on edge, But the Lord did say, though it tarry, wait for it, it will surely come. All right. And before World War III, this charagma, this mark of the BEAST, will take effect. And it's not long. It's not long. It's not long. Okay, I went to the verse of the day. Today, see what Yahweh Shemeshai is saying with regards to, today, sort of give you like a little, a little so-called vibe, spiritual vibe of the day. Romans 11:33. Oh, the depth of the riches, both of the wisdom and knowledge of the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Oh, the depth of the riches, both of the wisdom and knowledge of the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. How unsearchable are His judgments and His ways past finding out. Let's go to the NLT. Romans 11:33. Oh, how great are the Most High's riches and wisdom and knowledge. How impossible it is for us to understand His decisions and His ways. Okay? That's why this scripture, perfectly sort of elaborated, me being kind of pissed off, seeing that ceasefire shit. I understand that this World War III is going to happen, but because I'm not the only one feeling this, where you're so excited for things to go off, this place to fall, right? That, it's like you want to get through all the chores of the day, whatever you got to do, you got to, I'm not talking about spiritual stuff like prayers and all that. I'm talking about, obviously you do your prayers in the morning, you do your workout, whenever you work out in the evening or the morning, you do your work, your daily bread scenario, you take care of your things that you got to do on a daily basis with regards to your household. You want to get these things done quickly so you can get back to the net and see what's going on in the world, hoping that things have progressed, because you're just so eager just to get this kingdom out of the way and past you. You know what I mean? That's how I'm feeling, because even when you do have a day off from work, you don't feel like it's a day off because you think, man, I want this fucking place to fall. Pardon my French, And, when you saw this ceasefire thing, I'm not going to lie, I was pissed off. I was hoping it's going to progress. As Romans 11:33 says in NLT, oh, how great are the Most High's riches and wisdom and knowledge. how impossible it is for us to understand his decisions and his ways. All right? We're not going to understand the Lord. The Lord plays chess against himself, man. You know? Lord willing, I said it the right way. You know? Adawan Ratazar. And the Most High, we will never understand the Lord. Look at this. Isaiah 55:8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yashai. Verse 9. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. All right. So, this is all a big movie of Yahweh Bashim Yashai. He's controlling the characters. He's controlling the emotions, the thought process of everyone that's evil on the left-hand side and everyone that's righteous on the right-hand side. Okay, our people and the heathens, he's controlling their emotions, their thoughts, because man's goings are of the Lord, then how can a man understand his own ways? You might think this is what I'm going to do, this, down the third, man, I'm paraphrasing, a man might think this is what I'm going to do, but the Lord guides the steps of those individuals, So there's no understanding of why the Lord would, is going to do this. But from my perspective, right? Trump says Israel-Iran ceasefire now in effect. Please don't violate it. Now, obviously, someone is going to violate it. It's like saying that he's brokered the ceasefire, and it's America throwing their weight around again. Trump is the king of the earth at the moment, and he's saying, okay, yeah, I'm saying so. Don't try and step to me, or don't try and step to us, or whatever, because I'm the man. I say so. You can't fuck around, so to speak. And obviously someone's going to violate it. Someone will violate it. Okay. And at the moment, a lot of people that are probably taking a sigh of relief, especially the heathen nations and some of our people, I've probably been watching doomsday type movies and Armageddon and Deep Impact and all these kinds of sort of end of times movies and all that kind of thing. And they're probably shitting themselves, thinking, then they're probably taking a sigh of relief. Oh yeah, we can have a summer now. There's a ceasefire. All right. There's no rest for the wicked, man. This thing is going to pick up. All right. Okay. Let's go to that scripture. Though they say peace and safety. Though they say peace and safety, King James Version. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety. All right. This is what they're saying now. Ceasefire. All right. Okay. They may not say using the words peace and safety, but they're saying, all right, right now, we've brokered a peace deal after 12 days of war. Right. Iran, okay, stay in your place. They're saying, Iran, stay in your place, and all of that, the ancient kingdom of Elam and Iran and all that, they're going to think, man, this wig head, this guy's a billionaire, but he wears a wig, whatever, this wig head cracker trying to tell us what to do, telling us to stay in our place, them, Iranians are going to start going, la, 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 those Ismaili or Iranian type scream that they do, to Allah and all that. They're going to just say Allahu Akbar and jump up in the air on their camel and start bombing places, man, 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. This is what they're saying again, Trump says Israel-Iran ceasefire now in effect. Please don't violate it. It's a 1 minute, 13-minute video. Let's play it. Let's put the sound on. By the way, copyright fair use. This is from the Reuters website. June the 24th, 2025, 6:32 a.m. This was 7 minutes. Well, not 7 minutes ago. It's probably about 15, 20 minutes ago the news came. Actually, half an hour ago.
I would recommend the calls at Plymouth because...
So I get these damn commercials.
Explosions were heard across Doha on Monday as Iran launched missiles at a U.S. airbase in Qatar's capital. The attack was retaliation for U.S. airstrikes on Iranian nuclear sites over the weekend, when it joined Israel's air war against Tehran. But just hours later, U.S. President Donald Trump announced on his Truth Social platform a quote, complete and total ceasefire between Israel and Iran. He congratulated the two countries on having the stamina, courage, and intelligence to end what he called the 12-day war. Trump had said Iran gave the United States notice prior to the missile attack in Doha, which he said made it possible for no lives to be lost. Early on Monday, Israel bombed a political prison in Tehran, in a renewed demonstration of its willingness to strike not only military and nuclear targets, but key pillars in Iran's ruling system. The Trump administration maintains its aim is to solely destroy Iran's nuclear program, not to open a wider war. But in a social media post on Sunday, Trump spoke of toppling the hardline clerical rulers, who have been Washington's main foes in the Middle East since Iran's 1979 Islamic Revolution.
Harvey Nichols.
That's what it was.
Harvey Nichols.
Oh, that's what it was. Oh, okay. Yeah, so apparently Iran warned America, are we going to hit this certain site so no lives can be lost? That's the thing with the other nations. The so-called white man will never warn you. They'll bomb indiscriminately, because they love to murder and maim and destroy other heathen nations, even though they're pieces of shit too. They're scumbags, are little, as I say, the lesser, they're a bit of a, they're slightly more less evil compared to the so-called white man. All right. Summary: Israeli military says 6 waves of missiles fired from Iran. Okay, land of Elam. Israel ambulance service says 4 people deleted. Iran's last missiles fired before ceasefire. Iran's SNN reports. White House: Israel on board as long as no more Iranian attacks. Okay, so far it's a 12-day war. Trump brokered a peace deal. All right. Okay, Washington, Doha, Istanbul, June 24th, Reuters. US President Donald Trump said on Tuesday a ceasefire between Israel and Iran was now in place and asked both countries not to violate it, only hours after Iran launched waves of missiles, which Israel's ambulance service said killed 4 people. I mean, if you look at it this way as well, all those ex-military, all these groups that are coming together, Proud Boys and all that, skinhead groups and all that kind of thing, those that have inside information, those that believe in these so-called conspiracy facts, right, and some conspiracy theories, they're going to be preparing. I guess this gives them a little bit of a heads up that the war is coming, and then gives them a little bit more time to get geared up and ready. So, I mean, there's many edges to this coin. So it could be simple fact that Trump got scared, thinking that, okay, shit, this is it. Once this happens, and also the charagma has to come out before the war kicks off into full throttle, into 6th gear, right? Why? Okay, because I guess they probably ceased the war because they do want to get the charagma or the mark of the BEAST into effect, because the war is not going to happen until the mark is implemented on the planet Earth. So this is possibly the reason why they've done a ceasefire, to get those things underway. And July the 4th is next week, right, which is on a Friday. And the so-called white man likes to do these testers, whatever the fuck they're going to do, financial crash, stop the cash points, or what you call what do we call them, cash points here in the UK, the money dispensing machines or whatever, in maybe crash them or something. I don't know, right? Whatever they're going to do, but they're going to do something. Something will happen this summer. All right. So obviously they've got to get that underway before they really pick up the war. So what they've done is a few testers, all right, to let the world know, okay, yeah, this is where we're going, and everybody else gives them a little bit more time to prepare. You know, all these so-called groups that are around the world gives all these martial law troops to prepare, all these sleeper cells to prepare, and also at the same time, they want to get this financial crash underway as well before World War III really kicks off into sixth gear. All right, it's a ceasefire. All right, it says ceasefire, stop firing. It's like basically in the ancient world when they had battles, they might say, okay, yeah, we're not going to fight today. They might take a rest, might bandage up or whatever, and then they regroup and start clashing swords and shields again. All right. Now this is what's going to happen. So it will lead to further conflict because people are itching to get out of America, man. All right. People don't like America at all. All right. It takes this pig-skinned so-called white man to step in and say, "Oh yeah, I'm brokering the the ceasefire." You know, like he's God. Like yeah, I'm doing it. You know, and a lot of people don't like that, man. It reminds me of that scene from Young Guns, where you got the Englishman trying to like train up those young, Emilio Estevez and all that, and what's the other cracker's name, man? Those other Edomites that were there in the group of Young Guns or whatever, right? And you had the Englishman trying to train them, and the Irishman came to the Englishman saying, "Listen, Englishman, this is not England or whatever, or Ireland. You're not going to have your ways here in America, you know." And those Irish are pissed off with the English. And the same way with the rest of the world, they're pissed off with the so-called white man. You're not going to have your ways here no more. So, when Trump announced on Monday that what he called a complete ceasefire to end a 12-day war, he appeared to suggest that Israel and Iran would have time to complete missions that were underway, at which point the ceasefire would begin in a staged process. Keyword staged. Okay. They can do ceasefires as much as they want. It's going to happen. It's got Revelation 11:14. Revelation 11:14, King James Version. Revelation 11:14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. That's World War III. Okay, so it's coming, man. We've already had World War I, World War II. World War III is coming. And the Bible is a living book, man. It contains the history of the world, all right, from its beginning and to its progression into the kingdom of heaven, which will be on planet Earth and beyond. All right, let's go to type in woe 1. Yeah, there it is. Revelation 9 and 12. One woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter. One woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter. All right. World War I was 1914 to 1918. World War II is from 1939 to 1945. We go to Revelation 11:14. Now, the second woe is past, 1939 to 1945, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly, and it will come. All right. So war is coming, regardless of whatever ceasefire is now in effect. Right, because the charagma has to come out first, which is the mark of the BEAST, which is the RF to the I to the D, which will be the new currency on planet Earth. Okay, because everything is going digital. All right. So keep your eyes peeled because, as the Lord did say, though it tarry, wait for it. It will surely come. Anyway, all praise to Yahweh Shemashai. Shalom.